Hello dear viewers, it's time for your English news edition. Here are the major stories for tonight. President Geli presided over the 23rd meeting of Ministers' Council. And on the international news, on the Muslim ban, the US Supreme Court gives go-ahead for Trump's travel ban on 6 Muslim majority nations. Those are the top stories, and thank you for joining us in our newsroom. Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, the 23rd session of the Council of Ministers was held on Tuesday at the Presidential Palace. 13 texts were adopted and approved concerning a bill on the recognition of studies, certifications, diplomas, degrees and other titles of higher education in the states of Africa. Through this bill, the African states are mainly seeking the recognition of the qualification among the countries of the region. They need to consolidate university integration to put in place a qualification framework in order to support these processes. The adoption of the Addis Ababa Convention represents an important step for higher education in Africa and represents the starting point of our action as well as the support and promotion of its implementation. And question 2 relates to a bill approving and making enforceable the provisional budget for the year 2018 of the University of Djibouti. The 2018 budget of the university is 3.4 billion francs. That's an increase of 4%, and then grant requested in the 2018 national budget is 3.1 billion francs, which is a 9% increase over the 2017 bill. Question 3 relates to a draft order approving and making executable the 2018 budget of the Higher Institute of Health Sciences. This estimated budget is equivalent to 3.1 billion. The requested grant from the national budget is 2.9 billion Djibouti francs. Question 5 and 6 were related to a draft decree laying down the procedures for exercising the fundamental rights of refugees and asylum seekers in the Republic of Djibouti. The main provisions of this draft decree concern possibility for refugees and asylum seekers to pursue a professional and salary activity. The certificate issued by owners to the asylum seeker of the registered document has a validity of 6 months. Renewable recipient of refugee status and asylum seekers enjoy the same treatments as nationals. In question 7, the estimated operating budget of the State Information System Agency is equivalent to 253 million francs. In 2018, the agency plans to increase its operational capacity to improve the operation of the administration in order to provide quality services to citizens. And the rest of the estimated budget of the monthly pension fund for the question 8 is fund for the 2018 financial year is adopted at more than 2 billion Djibouti francs. This draft budget takes into account the technical and operating expenses. Question 9, the estimated budget of the International Airport of Djibouti for the 2018 financial year is to 3.2 billion francs Djibouti, and this budget provides for the continuation of the strategic orientations, including the project of extension of the terminal, the construction of infrastructure, and the acquisition of aeronautical equipment. In the Bill 10, the provisional accounts of the National Office of Water and Sanitation of Djibouti for the financial year 2018 are 6.8 billion Djibouti francs. The budget forecast of ONEAT for the year 2018 show a projected increase of 15% of its turnover. Concerning the issue number 11, the estimated budget for the year 2018 of the International Oil Company of Djibouti is approved at 32 billion Djibouti francs. Forecast revenue is growing thanks to the sale of the petroleum products. In the bill number 12, the projected budget for the year 2018 of the National Social Security Fund is 23 billion Djibouti francs. Projected revenues are rising mainly due to the continued economic growth and its provided except on the job creation. And concerning the bill number 13, the estimated budget of the Djiboutian Agency for Social Development is 432 billion francs, and this 2018 budget of IDDS is increasing compared to the previous year, and is part of the continuation of projects to reduce urban And the Foreign Minister continued with his report about the missions made abroad. And it concerns the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Spokesperson of the government reported on the state visit made by the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, to China from 22 to 25 November 2017. And during this official visit, the head of state had meetings with the Chinese high authorities, including President Xi Jinping. Several sets of agreements have been signed, including several areas of investment, health. This visit is part of the ties of cooperation and friendship between the two countries and the two peoples. He also reported on the participation of the President of the Republic in the 5th African Union European Union Summit on the theme of investment and youth, which took place on 29 and 30 November 2017 in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The Minister of Interior reported on his participation in the 180th Council of International Organization for Migration, which took place from 30 November to December 1st, 2017 in Geneva. The Ministry of Higher Education and Research reported to the 4th Annual Knowledge Summit held from 21 to 24 November 2017 in Dubai. The Minister of Labour in charge of the reform of the administration reported on his participation in the 4th World Conference on the Elimination of Child Labour in the SAP Regional Forum for the Exchange of Experiences for the Promotion of Labour in December 14 in Buenos Aires, and from 20 to 21 November in Addis Ababa. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sports reported on his participation in the World Youth Forum, which took place from 4 to 9 November in Sharm el-Sheikh. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, sent a congratulatory message yesterday to his counterpart of the United Arab Emirates, His Excellency Sheikh Al-Khalifa Al-Nahyan, whose country celebrates the anniversary of his National Day. In his message, President Guelleh expressed wishes of health and happiness to Sheikh Khalifa Al-Nahyan, as well as for the development and prosperity and fulfillment to the brother and friend people of the United Arab Emirates. He then seized the opportunity to celebrate the special ties between the two countries in several economic sectors, including port development and logistics. The Djiboutian head of state finally reiterated to his counterpart in the United Arab Emirates his availability, as well as those of the government and people of Djibouti, to increase the level of exchange and collaboration between the two nations. It should be noted that similar message was also sent to the Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and Governor of Dubai, His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. And back to the national news. Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed received in audience late yesterday afternoon a strong delegation from the Japan Association for the Economy and Development of Africa. This association is present in nearly 49 African countries and works for the strengthening of the cooperation link between brother and friend countries in Japan. The Japanese delegation was introduced to the Prime Minister by the Ambassador of Djibouti to Japan, Mr. Ahmed Areta, and the Ambassador of Japan accredited to Djibouti, Mr. Tatsu Are. The Prime Minister welcomed these Japanese guests and said that the friendship between the two countries is fruitful. He highlighted all the economic and financial support provided by the Japanese authorities for a long time. All Japanese support materializes very well, he said. The cooperation and friendship between the two countries, he urged the Japanese association to work more for cooperation between the two countries. The Forum on Regional Integration and Private Investment in Infrastructure closed today at the end of the afternoon at the People's Palace. The conference mobilized around Djibouti policymakers, more than 200 international trade and investment specialists, infrastructure experts, investors and entrepreneurs. This high-level economic meeting was an opportunity to raise all the issues in the context of private investment models for major infrastructure projects, as well as regional economic integration strategies. And let's bear in mind that the opening ceremony of this forum was sponsored yesterday by the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed. For the third day in a row, international trade fair activities continued at the People's Palace, organized by the Chamber of Commerce under the theme 4th Djibouti International Trade Fair, Djibouti, Your Getaway to Africa. According to the organizers, this fair has welcomed nearly 200 exhibitors, more than half of whom came from abroad, sponsored yesterday by the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, members of the government, as well as the members of the administration, but also investors. And let's remind you that the exhibition, the first of its kind in Djibouti, which will continue until December 7, coincides with the 110th anniversary of the creation of the Djibouti Chamber of Commerce and the 40th anniversary of the national independence. And on the sidelines of the forum on regional integration in private investment in infrastructure, Djibouti Telecom Director General Mohammed Assoubuh invited local companies such as banks, NGOs, and young entrepreneurs Club of Djibouti. In turn, the Director General and the Director of the International Business, Mohammed Ahmed Mohammed, presented the submarine cable infrastructure, the internet platform, and the data center that Djibouti Telecom has developed in recent years in order to provide reliable and resilient connectivity services. Djibouti Telecom wanted above all to make companies aware of the importance of securing their data by hosting them in a fallback site. Indeed, since 2012, Djibouti Telecom has been offering colocation services to major operators such as MTN and Belgacom, and contain providers such as Google, Facebook, and Ekamai in the Djibouti Data Center, in which is in 3 standards. Djibouti Data Center is one of the leading state-of-the-art data center providers and neutral to cloud players in the telecom operators in the region. The 5th Forum on the Fight Against Terrorism, bringing together the French-speaking Prosecutors Association of the sub-region and those of the Indian Ocean, continued its work yesterday in its 2nd day at the Hotel Campus Palace. And it is under the leadership of the Minister of Justice, Mr. Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, and the supervision of the Attorney General Jamah Suleiman that it took place. Several topics were discussed and debated during the works, namely the fight against terrorism and crime of all kinds, such as, of course, maritime terrorism, human trafficking, and the flow of narcotics. It was also a matter of highlighting in this work conducted under the coordination and expertise of the IPF ways and means to strengthen the collaboration of data exchanges and harmonize the different forms of laws governing each country in the fight against terrorism, criminality, and therefore possible criminal acts. Continuing with the national news, as part of the modernization of its health information system, the Ministry of Health plans to set up a data management platform commonly known as DHIS2. Since Sunday, the Ministry of Health has organized a 10-day training session at the Sheraton Hotel for 32 future trainers on the use and management of the DHIS2 platform. The training provided by 2 experts concerns the management of a web-based data warehouse aimed at strengthening the health information system in order to improve the accessibility, promptness, and quality of the country's health data. At the end of this training, our future Djiboutian trainers will acquire the skills required for the management and the proper functioning of the data warehouse software and that encompasses all existing services and activities within the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of the Environment, in partnership with the European Union, organized a workshop of capacity building and promotion in climate action. The meeting, which took place at the Sheraton Hotel, was organized jointly with the European Union, which is heavily involved in environmental issues through its Environment Fund. Several high-level personalities took part in this session, including the Secretary General for the Environment, Nina Abdullah Omar, experts from the European Union, and representatives of civil society. Executive and technicians from several ministerial departments participated in this training workshop, and the objective of this training was to build capacity and promote climate action and improve understanding. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Mohammed Ahmed Fatah, chaired an important development meeting between the department and technical leaders of the Djibouti Football Federation. The event, in the framework of the detectation of young talents in football that took place in the meeting room of the cabinet, has seen the participation of the responsibles. The Secretary General immediately stressed the importance of this meeting in the detectation of young talents with high potential in football, which will form the backbone of the next national selections. For the Secretary General, this detection, which is intended to be a huge year, is part of the objectives of the State Secretary of Youth and Sports aimed at raising the level of national sports, a major discipline in the Republic of Djibouti. And on the international news, U.S. Supreme Court gives go-ahead for Trump's travel ban on 6 Muslim major nations. Let's listen to Hind Ibrahim.
The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday handed a victory to President Donald Trump by allowing his legislative travel ban targeting people from 6 Muslim-majority countries to go into full effect even as legal challenges continue in lower courts. The 9-member court, with 2 liberal justices dissenting, granting his administration's request to lift 2 injunctions imposed by lower courts that had impartially plugged the ban, which is the derivation of a continuous policy that Trump first sought to implement a week after taking office in January. The High Court's action means that the ban will now go fully into effect for people from Chad, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria and Yemen seeking to enter the United States. The Republican president has said the travel ban is needed to protect the United States from terrorism by Islamic militants. The ban was challenged in a separate lawsuit by State of Hawaii and the American Civil Liberties Union. Both sets of challenge say the latest ban, like the earlier ones, discriminate against Muslims in violation of the U.S. Constitution and is not permissible under immigration laws. Trump had promised as a candidate to impose a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Spain drops international arrest warrant for Catalonia ex-leader Puigdemont. Let's listen to Hind Ibrahim once again.
Spain has withdrawn an European arrest warrant for Catalania's sacked leader Charles Puigdemont and for his former minister, who fled to Belgium after the regional parliament declared unilateral independence, the Supreme Court said Tuesday. In a statement, the court said judgment Pablo and La Reina, in charge of the case, decided to withdraw the warrant as the 5 have said they want to come back to Spain to participate in a regional election on December 21. He, however, maintained the Spanish arrest warrant and they will be detained upon arrival in the country, court sources say. Lorena also argued that European warrant will complete the overall probe into Catalan leaders, some of whom are still in Spain in jail or released on bail as authorities probe them on charges of rebellion, sedition and misuse of public funds. He said Belgium could reject some of the reasons behind the warrant, which could affect and possibly reduce the charges pro against Puigdemont and for others, and create inequality with those back in Spain who will be probed on the full charges.
This is it for this session. Thank you for being with us on RTD and have a good night.